Welcome back to Hair Impact. I'm Gusanda Hileos, and today we're gonna talk about appearance of a scientist. So, if you want to ask what the public thinks a scientist look like, it's easy. You can ask a child to draw it, and just to see a perspective about what the general public thinks a scientist look like. So if you are a teacher, you can try it. You can test it to the children of your class. Or if you are a parent, you can do that also with your kids. So I bet if you ask a child to draw a scientist, he will draw a middle-aged man with really crazy hair, glasses, a white robe, in the lab, working in the lab, typically with tubes and everything, crazy eyes, glasses, the stereotype of a scientist, what most people think a scientist looks like. And that is very common, the public and children and everybody else around us think that scientists are different. They're not normal people. So how do they actually look like? Do you just go to the university or research center and you see all these, typical scientists, stereotype scientists all over these centers, and they just stay in the lab all the time and do research? Well, of course not. Scientists are normal people. You can cross the road and, passing by scientists any day of the week, they just look so normal. So they just happen to choose a career in science. That's all different it is. The scientists are not middle-aged men. Some they are, of course. They don't have crazy hairs. Not all scientists wear glasses like me. I do. That's the only stereotype trail I have as a scientist. They don't have crazy eyes. And I know, if what I'm saying is probably you think Einstein, but Einstein is not really typical a scientist. It just was one, Einstein with the crazy hairs and the stereotype characteristics I just said. But they just seem normal people. They have habits and passions about life, and they like draw maybe, or they like hiking or rock climbing, whatever. They just every single day they just do scientific stuff like do research and write articles in scientific journals, and be in the lab or not in the lab. Some scientists are not even in the lab. You get geologists probably in the field somewhere mapping, or archaeologists, you are just looking at the stars all the time in the sky through technological tools that you have, or probably biologists, you are in the lab. But I just want to say that stereotype of scientist is wrong, and the public shouldn't think stereotype is true. It's just so wrong. So maybe it's funny, the stereotype of scientists, but actually it's harmful for scientists, especially women in science, because public thinks that all men scientists are wise and they're more, probably more right. Well, being a good scientist, it doesn't matter of the gender, of the age, of anything. There's some scientists that are old, middle-aged men. Maybe they have crazy hair, but they're bad scientists. And there are some young or women in science that are very good scientists. So being bad or good, it doesn't reflect on your appearance. So the stereotype of scientists should not be an obstacle for women scientists, for young men in science, for people they don't wear glasses, for people they don't have crazy hairs or crazy eyes or whatever we think about scientists. So hope you help you to understand scientists are just normal and they maybe it's your neighbor or whoever. So just see a perspective, and when you listen to a scientist, you don't look to the appearance. They can be a woman or a young man or a normal person that speaks. Just listen to what he or she is saying rather than just, you know, watching how it looks. So thank you for being with me with another episode of Her Impact. Make science your superpower, and I'll see you next time with another episode.